Money with Good Morning Bay.
Get to know about the traffic on your way and what's news around the world today.
Some wisdom skills along the way.
Oh, and a song to hum along with and sway.
Get your perfect entertaining start to the day.
At 9 a.m. every weekday morning with
Mahima's
Good Morning Bay.
गुड मॉर्निंग बे आप सभी लोग हमारी तरफ से एक प्यार भरा नमस्ते
नमस्कार
वनकम
नमस्कार
खुशामदी
सलामकुम
सत श्री अकाल
మీకు అందరికీ వందనము
जय स्वामी नारायण
जय श्री कृष्ण
जय जिनेन्द्र
हमारे इस्माइली भाई बंधुओं को बोल दे याली मदद
मोनाली मतलब बोलते हैं सारे फीजे बदल मोलगा नीसाम्बला बड़जान हम आ गए हैं आपके प्यारे महिमा के द्वारे मैं से फालतू बाबा
एंड ऑफ कोर्स माई सेल्फ फालतू रानी लेकर आपके लिए एक और ड्राइव टाइम शो दैट्स गोना मेक इट टोटली एक्साइटिंग एंड टोटली मस्तानी बंद जाने
To the Bajan, of course, first and foremost, make it more relevant for you guys. Raste ka haal आपके लिए local रास्ते का हाल सस्ते में.
It's time for the Bandu traffic update. Call us from wherever you are at 408 912 2479.
Well, Bajan, आपको बोल दे कि freeways are pretty much free right now. ज़्यादा traffic कहीं पे भी नहीं है. It's pretty much, I think, probably because of weather, probably because of people reading the news about the coronavirus variant actually lifting its head up at the Jan right now within the community. So you got to watch out for that. Make sure you're vaccinated for sure. If you're not vaccinated, get information to how you can actually, why it is beneficial to be vaccinated so that we can curb this particular second variant on the Jan. Let me tell you a little bit of information about traffic. There seems to be the only congestion across Bay Area is the fact that there's something on 84 westbound, eastbound near University Avenue in Menlo Park. The right lane is affected there mostly. It actually is westbound, but east part of it. So, and a little bit of sluggish traffic all over San Francisco actually, because of an accident on 101 northbound on the Market Street. So the lane is blocked over there. So all the connecting roads are backed up as well. I see pretty much red and dark red, but love is actually stopping for traffic over there. Some sluggish traffic on 880, which is not too bad, but of course 880 generally southbound is always kind of crowded in the mornings. Evenings, of course, you guys know the northbound is crowded. But right now, Bajan, that's all we have of traffic news for you guys. But weather-wise, if you look at it, it's not going to be too hot today. It's going to be kind of in the mid-70s. Not too bad. Right now, might seem like big 60s. Might go up around 10%. It's cloudy right now, but the clouds are going to burn out for sure. And they might be cloudy even tomorrow. But Saturday is going to be a nice sunny weather for you guys. The weekend is going to be awesome. So if at all weekend you're not made any plans, you can swing by our studio here. But if you go to pragnya.org, you'll understand what we're talking about. It's called the Summer Festival. You can actually register for that as well. Go to pragnya.org and register for the Summer Festival. But right now, Banjan, a quick look at what's happening with the news. Faltani, what do we have as news for today?
Well, Alto Baba, what's that? Is that me?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. I had music playing. Okay. Well, there's news that's coming out of the United States where U.S. Surgeon General Vivek Murthy has raised the alarm on Thursday, that's today, over a growing wave of misinformation about COVID-19 and related vaccines that threatens efforts to quell the pandemic and save lives, urging technology companies and others to act right away. What is that about? I'm going to share that with regard to what the misinformation is. In his first advisory as the nation's top doctor under President Joe Biden, Murthy called on tech companies to tweak their algorithms to further demote false information and share more data with researchers and government to help teachers, healthcare workers, and media fight misinformation. Health misinformation is a serious threat to the public health, and it can cause confusion, so mistrust, harm people's health, and undermine public health efforts. Limiting the spread of health misinformation is a moral and civic imperative, he said in his advisory, first reported by NPR. The false information can lead to hesitancy in getting vaccinated against the novel coronavirus, leading to preventable deaths, Murthy said, noting misinformation can affect other health conditions and is a worldwide problem. The advisory also urges people not to spread questionable information online, something the head of Center for Countering Digital Hate, a group that targets COVID-19 misinformation online, said also will not be enough. Now, the important thing to note is, Banajan, that there has been a rise of 11% in terms of COVID cases here in the United States in just the past week. So, and all of these are the Delta variant. So we really need to be watchful at this particular point in time. The first U.S. Senate vote on the bipartisan infrastructure bill was set for next Wednesday. Majority Leader Chuck Schumer announced on Thursday in an apparent effort to jumpstart the process. Legislators from both parties are working to forge a consensus on details of the measure, which is expected to fund roads, bridges, ports, and other hard infrastructure, and is backed by President Joe Biden, whose fellow Democrats narrowly control the Senate. Now, how are they going to pass this, right? People have been 60 votes are actually needed to advance this measure next Wednesday, which means at least 10 Republicans will have to join all Democrats in supporting the legislation in the Senate, which is divided 50-50 along the party lines. But first, the working group of the 20 senators must resolve their own differences on how to fund this particular deal. And apparently the Democrats are going to get this passed based on something called reconciliation, which actually is a measure that kind of beats the Senate filibuster. So we're gonna wait and see how that happens, and maybe we should get a political pundit on the show, Altamabad, to talk to us about that.
Yes, a political pundit does not mean somebody who actually is political and makes puns.
Yeah. Oh. Altu, please, early in the morning.
Yeah.
Okay. President Joe Biden is going to tout a program which is likened to universal basic income for kids. That's right. Some 35 million American families are set to receive their first monthly payout from the U.S. government in an expanded income support program that President Joe Biden on Thursday will argue that can help end child poverty. Under the Child Tax Credit Program, expanded under the Biden's COVID-19 stimulus program, eligible families can receive an initial monthly payment of up to $300 for each child under 6 years old and up to $250 for each older child. Payouts to families with nearly 60 million eligible children total about $15 billion for July. The payments are automatic for many U.S. taxpayers. Others are required to sign up. Biden is hoping to make expanded benefits permanent as part of the $3.5 trillion spending plan being weighed by Senate Democrats, who expect a strong Republican opposition to the bill. The United States is also seeking to speed up rooftop solar growth with instant permits. The Biden administration on Thursday said that they will roll out a tool that enables instant permitting of rooftop solar installations, addressing a major source of industry delays and possibly lowering costs for homeowners, the Energy Department said. The Solar Automated Permit Processing, which is the Solar App platform developed by the DOE's National Renewable Energy Laboratory, will be a standard portal for local governments to process permit applications automatically. Approvals typically take a week or more currently, and permit-related costs can account for about a third of installers' overall costs, DOE said. Wow, there's so much movement happening. That is so great, isn't it? All right, let's go on over and talk a little bit about local news. Banajan, a family is suing the Palo Alto Unified School District over its mask policy. The lawsuit says a father enrolled his son in a summer program. When the student didn't wear a mask on the first day of summer school, he was sent to the office, the lawsuit says. The father says his son has a disability and the mask makes him unable to pronounce words correctly. The student, whose name is not disclosed in the lawsuit, is set to become a senior at Palo Alto High School. Lawsuit claims that school district said it would make mask exemptions on a case-by-case basis due to health reasons. But NBC Bay Area, who was reporting on this particular story, were not able to immediately confirm with the district the details of the case. But just an FYI that individuals with disabilities and individuals with developmental disabilities, like this gentleman's son, are exempt from wearing a mask, Vanajan. So you do want to, I think they do have a case, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cries for help were heard reportedly, but the East Bay runner still remains missing. For 5 days, search and rescue teams from across the Bay Area have been trying to find Berkeley runner Philip Krajcik. We talked about him yesterday, 37-year-old man who has gone missing. On Wednesday night, Alameda's County's Search and Rescue Mobile Command Center pulled out of Foothill High School parking lot. It marked the end of the large-scale search that had been running at full steam the last 5 days. Krajcik has not been seen or heard from since Saturday morning when he went for a run in Pleasanton Ridge Regional Park. Earlier on Wednesday, search volunteers kept showing up at the staging area near the Foothill High School to get briefed on the terrain and trails and in the Pleasanton Hills before heading out to the area where Krajcik was going to go jogging. The search geared up again Tuesday night following social media reports of a possible cry for help that was heard in a canyon. We were very hopeful that we would find him last night, but obviously the search is going on, volunteer coordinator Sandy Schneider said. You've seen the number of volunteers. The community support has been unbelievable. Also, the Medicare agency, yesterday we reported on this, Vanajan, about the Good Sam Hospital. Well, they have now issued a notice of termination to San Jose's Good Sam Hospital, according to the hospital's parent company, HCA Healthcare. A notice of termination typically warns hospitals that CMS plans to terminate Medicare and Medicaid agreements unless these deficiencies are fixed. And they had said that they would get it fixed within the next 30 days, right? So those were the news headlines and news in detail, actually, from across the Bay Area and across the United States. Do we want to go into Organic Akita before we do the
Well,
world news?
we can jump to the world news if possible, Fatwa.
All right, let's talk a little bit about what's going on around the world, Vanajan. Dutch crime reporter De Vries dies after being shot in the street. A well-known crime reporter, he's actually a celebrity Dutch crime reporter, Peter De Vries. He has died just over a week after being shot in a busy Amsterdam street. His family and his employer RTL Netherlands said on Thursday, prompting an outpouring of grief and anger at home and abroad. De Vries, who was 64 years old, was well known for his television programs in which he often worked with victims' families and tirelessly pursued unsolved cases. He had received threats in the past from the criminal underworld in connection with his work. Two men who were arrested on a highway shortly after the July 6th shooting. One was a Polish national, and they remain in custody right now as murder suspects. He fought till the very end but wasn't able to win this battle. He died surrounded by the people who loved him, his family said in a statement published by RTL Netherlands. Russia has declared the Prokt investigative news outlet as a, quote, undesirable, unquote, organization on national security grounds on Thursday, banning its activities in the latest blow against media who look into areas the authorities say are off limits. The move, part of a wider crackdown ahead of parliamentary elections in September on media the authorities view as hostile and foreign-backed, targets an outlet which has published a series of deeply researched and unflattering investigations into the Russia's ruling state. So they have shut them down now. China is interestingly missing from itinerary for the U.S. diplomat's second Asia tour. U.S. Deputy Secretary of State Wendy Sherman will visit Japan, South Korea, and Mongolia next week, the State Department said, making no mention of any stop in China that had been anticipated in foreign policy circles and reported in some media.
Not even North Korea. My goodness.
No.
How come? Why?
They said that Sherman was going to discuss a broad range of issues in Japan, including combating the climate crisis and enhancing global health security. You know what? Why not North Korea? Because North Korea, China, Russia are all
Yeah.
in cahoots, right?
So why not China? Because probably they're talking about strategies how to attack China or defend from China.
Oh God.
You never know. All these conspiracies. James Bond will know. We should call him 007, not Saad.
How come you're not reaching out to Tom Cruise?
Tom Cruise is not. He's only American based.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Well, that, and then of course, at least 44 people are dead in floods in Western Europe, and dozens of people are missing. At least 42 people died in Germany, and dozens were missing on Thursday as record rainfall in Western Europe caused rivers to burst their banks, and they swept away homes and flooded cellars. 18 people died and dozens have been missing around the wine-growing region of Ahrweiler in Rhineland-Palatinate state, police said, after the Ahr River flows into the Rhine rose and brought down about half a dozen houses. In other news, Microsoft is actually making an accusation against Israel. An Israeli group supposedly sold the tool to hack into Microsoft Windows. Microsoft and technology human rights group Citizen Lab said on Thursday, shedding light on the growing business of finding and selling tools to hack widely used software. The hacking tool vendor named Kendiru created and sold a software exploit that can penetrate Windows, one of many intelligence projects or products sold by a secretive industry that finds flaws in common software problems for their clients, said a report by Citizen Lab. And this is really worrisome news that's coming out, Banajan. If you've bought a Johnson & Johnson sunscreen product, please make a note of this. They are voluntarily recalling 5 Neutrogena and Aveeno brand aerosol sunscreen products after detecting a cancer-causing chemical in some samples. The New Jersey-based Johnson & Johnson company said on Wednesday that consumers should stop immediately using the products and discard them after internal testing identified low levels of benzene in some samples. J&J is also notifying distributors and retailers to stop selling the products and arrange for their return out of an abundance of caution. Benzene is classified as a substance that could potentially cause cancer depending on the level and extent of exposure. And of course, in news from India, Bandijan, let us tell you that highly skilled foreign nationals, including international students, are choosing Canada over America, said Stuart Anderson, Executive Director of the National Foundation for American Policy. This has happened in response to how difficult it is to work in the United States in an H-1B status and gain permanent residence, and the comparative ease of international students and foreign nationals working on a temporary status and then acquiring permanent residency in Canada. So a lot of people are choosing to go to Canada as opposed to coming into the United States. Maharashtra is reporting about 8,000 new COVID-19 cases and about 170 deaths. And there is WhatsApp multi-device support, which is now live, and there are 10 highlights that have come out with regard to that. You can go check out on mediamahima.com. The situation in Kerala with regard to COVID is also really bad, and also there have been an increasing number of Zika virus cases in Kerala as well. Banjan, more on all that you'll find on mediamahima.com. That's all we have time for on this morning's Good Morning Babe. We'll be back tonight live at 5 on the Pam Pam Show. Don't forget to tune in then. Have yourself a wonderful, terrific Thursday. Maza aa raha hai na? Great music, Banajan, for the best in entertainment and the best in music and the hottest tracks ever. You can get it on Radio D Hotties. For more information, go to mediamahima.com.